good morning, and good morning. Welcome to the Coffin Bible Hour Show. I'm your host, Brother Melvin, right here in Chicago, Illinois. And hanging out with me today to read for me is also in Chicago, Illinois, is Jerome Davis. Jerome Davis, good morning, and welcome to the Coffin Bible Hour Show. How you doing this morning?
Hey, hello, Brother Melvin. And shout out to all your Chicagoans and out of towners on this Coffee and Bible Hour.
All right, yes, sir, yes, sir. Yes, good morning. I want to say good morning. I see my faithful. I do mean faithful. Chat members are checking in, but I know they checking in other avenue. I know you're there. And I just want to say good morning to you. Hope you're doing good. Hope you're doing fine. Hope everything is going all right with your family this morning. If not, we're going to as we teach this lesson. If anything wrong, we pray that the Lord remove it and that you be all right on this day, Lord. Good to see you guys. I do appreciate you getting up, hanging out with Jerome and myself on the Coffee and Bible Hour Show. Y'all do know that this program is on 5 days a week, Monday through Friday, 6:35 a.m. Central Time, 7:35 a.m. Eastern Time, 4:35 a.m. Pacific Time, and 5:35 a.m. Mountain Time. We are here to deal with this early morning Word of God. This is an early morning, grown folks, Bible study show program, and y'all are welcome to take part in it. Do appreciate you. Ron, what are you reading from this morning?
I got Psalms, the 9th chapter. I'm going to read verses 9 through 14. The Lord also will be a refuge for the oppressed, a refuge in times of trouble. And they that know thy name will put their trust in thee. For thou, Lord, hast not forsaken them that seek thee. Sing praises to the Lord which dwelleth in Zion. Declare among the people his doings. When he maketh inquisition for blood, he remembereth them. He forgetteth not the cry of the humble. Have mercy upon me, O Lord. Consider my trouble which I suffer of them that hate me. Thou that liftest me up from the gates of death, that I may show forth all thy praise in the gates of the daughter of Zion. I will rejoice in thy salvation. Amen.
All right, I'm going to read from uh, Psalms 11 this morning. Psalms 11 say, "In the Lord will I put my trust. How say ye to my soul, flee as a bird to your mountain? For lo, the wicked bend their bow. They make ready their arrows up on their string, that they may privately shoot at the upright in heart. If the foundation be destroyed, what can the righteous do? The Lord is in his holy temple. The
Mhm.
Lord, the Lord's throne is in heaven. His eyes behold, and his eyelid try, and the children of men. The Lord try the righteous, but the wicked but the wicked and him that loveth violence, his soul hateth. Up on the wicked he shall rain snares, fire and brimstone, and horrible temperance. This shall be the portion of their cup. For the righteous Lord love his righteousness. His countenance does behold the upright.
Mhm.
Praise ye the Lord.
Amen.
Oh, I like reading about them cups because we've been in those cups for the last few days. So
Mhm.
praise the Lord, brothers and sisters. It is so good to be here on this uh, day before this week ending day, which is Friday and Saturday and Sunday is the week beginning. But that's why you wonder why I said it, because I know some people probably hear that and say, why he said a week ending and the week beginning, because they done messed it up.
Yeah.
you know, and I just try to straighten it back out a little bit. But we always like to start the show off by giving this great God the praise that He's so truly, He truly deserves. Uh,
Amen.
we cannot give this great God enough praise. But once again, brothers and sisters, I just want to say good morning to everyone again. Uh, glad that you chose to hang out with us this morning. And I know what y'all wait here for, because the Lord told me to feed my sheep. And I can see y'all out there ready to be fed. So Jerome, guess what we got to do? We got to feed the sheep.
Right.
That's what we here for, But let me put my let me do it the right way. Let me get that name out of there. Good gracious, I got, from the time I put that name up, 5 comments came in. Let me put my prayer list up here, because we always want to be mindful of them. Brothers and sisters on our prayer list, like I said, we praying for our kids continually, and beg this great God to have mercy on our kids, because the world is definitely trying to destroy our kids with all this, they physically fit, but they destroying them up here. And when you can destroy somebody up here, you can bring them all the way to their knees. So we're just praying that the Lord strengthen our kids and keep his hedges around them. I know they might not be doing the right thing, Lord, but we praying that, like what Moses said, Lord, if you done found some righteousness in me, then will you please hear my prayer for our kids? So, brothers and sisters, be mindful of the people on the prayer list. Let me get this back up there again. If you got any question, please put it in the chat. Put it in the chat. Look at me. Stop it. If you got any question, put it in the coffee and Bible hour. Put it in the email. Man, that's what happens when you got a big brain. That stuff just be flying around in there, and every now and then it's kind of shooting the wrong shooter, which is my mouth. So if you got any question, please put it in the coffee and Bible hour at gmail.com. Do not put it in the chat, because I cannot, I'm going to repeat, I cannot stop the program to answer your question. So please put it in the coffee and Bible hour at gmail.com if you really want to answer to your question. Sometimes people ask questions trying to rebel what I'm saying.
Yeah.
They don't want no answer, But if you really want to answer to your question, put it in the coffin Bible hour at gmail.com. And before I get started today, brothers and sisters, y'all know I got a bone to pick with y'all about some of your comments you made yesterday. I asked real nice, if you're not 100% sure what you're saying, don't put it in the chat. Because you know what? You think that's just your chat. This is the chat of the Coffee and Bible Hour show. So when you say something out there, it don't flex on you. You at home in your bed sleep. But somebody gonna say, oh, on the Coffee and Bible Hour, they said this. Somebody y'all was putting out there, y'all still don't know color and nationality. Just because I'm black and my father's a Gentile, I'm a Gentile if my father was a Gentile. But I was saying when you said this, Esau was a black man. Esau was not a black, because we talking about color. Have you seen the Jewish people? The people that call themselves Jews? Is they black?
No.
Why was y'all putting that out there in the chat? He's not a white man. By his color, he is.
Mm-hmm.
So let's be wise of what we put out. I seen a couple of y'all was going back and forth about that. Esau was not a black man. I am a black man. But when you start talking about color, you got some India people's way darker than me, but they don't call them no black man, do they?
No.
But that's their color. So, let's be mindful of the stuff that you put out in the chat, brothers and sisters. If you ain't 100% that is biblical, can I ask you please to leave it alone? Can I ask you to do that for me? I don't ask that much, but leave it alone, because if you're not 100% sure, just leave it alone. But what we gonna deal with? We finna deal with the third part of this leg. We done dealt with the cup of the Lord fury on Israel. We dealt with the cup of the Lord's fury on Edom, which is the Jewish peoples, or the people that call themselves Jew. Now we gonna deal with the cup of the fury of on the Gentile. And I got to warn my audience, because y'all can get real personal sometimes. I don't want to see no negative comment. I don't want to see that negative comment about it, because this, I got a whole lot of white folks watch this program, and I don't want no negative comment. I don't want that, because this ain't about that. This is about the everybody got to pay for what they did. And guess what? The Bible says ain't none righteous. I mean, not a one.
Mm-hmm.
So, the Gentiles had to be our slave master. But who called this?
The Lord.
The Lord.
Yeah.
So I'm just warning you guys, please. Don't be putting nothing out here because I'm going to read your comments. And if I have to keep warning you, then I'm going to punch you out on the show and say, you got to stop making negative comments and put stuff in the chat that makes sense. Let's try doing that. That'll be a good something too. So let's get this started, Ron. We got a long way to go and a short time to get there. So let's get to rolling here. We're gonna deal with the cup of the Lord's fury on the Gentiles. We're gonna start this, as always, we're gonna start in Psalm 137. And yesterday we read and we ended right dealing with Edom, but this 137 set these cups up that we've been dealing with. Go ahead with the Psalm 137. Pick it up at verse 1. Go ahead.
By the rivers of Babylon, there we sat down. Yeah, we wept when we remembered Zion. We hanged our harps upon the willows in the midst thereof. For there they carried us away captive. Required of us a song. And they that wasted us required of us mirth, saying, sing us one of the songs of Zion. How shall we sing the Lord's song in a strange land? If I forget thee, O Jerusalem, let my right hand forget her cunning. If I do not remember thee, let my tongue cleave to the roof of my mouth. If I prefer not Jerusalem above my chief joy.
You see what now this is Israel lamenting about when they came out of Egypt, and when they we saw that during slavery. Anytime they make them old slavery pictures, we was always singing. We thought we was we was singing because we wanted to sing, but a lot of time too now. Just for the record, Israel did a lot of singing to communicate. Mm-hmm. They did some singings to communicate. But most of the time we were saying because they wanted to hear one of them old spiritual Negro songs. Mm-hmm. And we were singing. I'm just all the stuff to let you know that we Israel. But a lot of time they were singing out messes in they song. Go ahead with verse 7.
Remember, O Lord, the children of Edom in the day of Jerusalem, who said, raise it, even to the foundation thereof. O daughter of Babylon, who art to be destroyed, happy shall he be that rewardeth thee as thou hast served us. Happy shall he be that taketh and dasheth thy little ones against the stones.
That don't sound like something God would do with it. But he said, remember now, first he told him, we did yesterday, he said, remember, oh Lord, the children of Edom. He's remember them. They did. See, what people got to realize, when you touch Israel, you touching the apple of the Father's eye. He said, oh daughters of Babylon. Who's the daughters of Babylon? That's the Gentiles he talking to. Who art thou to be what? Destroyed. Happy is he that rewardeth thee as thou hast served us. He said, happy is he be that taketh and dash thy little one, O Babylon, against the stone. Praise ye the Lord. That don't sound too good. But this is this cup. This is this cup that the Gentiles got to drink out of. Let's look at this cup. Ain't none of these cups been pretty. Ain't none of these cups been pretty. But the Gentiles cup gonna run into the cup that he bringing on the whole world, because he gonna come and take them down. Let's go into Jeremiah 25. Let's go into Jeremiah 25. We're gonna just read these are our little setup verses that we read on all of them. Let's go into Jeremiah 25, and we're gonna pick it up at verse 15. Jeremiah 25 and verse 15. Okay, go ahead.
I mean, Isaiah 25 is what you want.
Yeah. Jeremiah 25.
Mm-hmm.
Jeremiah start with a J, and Isaiah start with an I.
I'm there.
Okay, go ahead.
But thus said the Lord God of Israel unto me, take the wine cup of this fury at my hand, and cause all the nations to whom I send it to drink it. And they shall drink and be moved and be mad because of the sword that I will send among them. Then took I the cup at the Lord's hand and made all the nations to drink, unto whom the Lord has sent it.
He took
sent me.
That he sent him to Jeremiah. He told him to take this cup to every nation, and he told him, "You gonna surely drink. You can act like you ain't gonna drink, but you gonna drink when I bring this cup to you. When he bring that individual cup to you, you gonna drink." So he said, because God got some indignation against the nations, all the nations. Yeah. Skip down there and read that verse 28. Go ahead.
And it shall be, if they refuse to take the cup at thine hand to drink, then shalt thou say unto them, thus saith the Lord of hosts, ye shall certainly drink.
So what you think you gonna do? You gonna drink. The case closed. You gonna drink when he bring this cup to you. Let's go into Revelation 16 chapter. Because he bringing this cup on all, matter of fact, if I was to read, he bring the cup on Egypt. He bring this cup on Ethiopia. He bring this cup on Moab. All of them got a cup in here. But we just picking out the big players in the Bible. Israel, Edom, and the Gentile, which run this whole earth. Revelation 16 and 16. Go ahead.
And he gathered them together into a place called in the Hebrew tongue Armageddon. And the seventh angel poured out his vial unto the air, and there came a great voice out of the temple of heaven from the throne, saying, it is done.
You know what this remind me of? You know that commercial on TV around here. I don't know if you catch it when somebody said, "Oh, we got a leak in the washroom." He said, "I'm gonna call ABC," and they say, "It's done."
Right.
In other words, that's what he's saying. When the Lord get ready to come, it's done. Although he ain't even done it yet, but when he get ready to come, it's gonna be done. Yeah. Skip down to verse 19 and go ahead.
And the great city was divided into three parts, and the cities of the nations fell. And great Babylon came in remembrance before God to give unto her the cup of the wine of the fierceness of his wrath.
That's that cup. It's been passed. We seen that cup hit Israel. Seen that cup was passed on, gonna be passed on to Edom. Now we looking at the cup that's gonna be passed on to the Gentile. And ain't none of these cups pretty. Let's go into Zechariah. Zechariah 1. This is angel, boy. He was just talking to everybody. He was talking to the Lord about us. Zechariah 1, pick it up at verse 12. Go ahead.
Then the angel of the Lord answered and said, O Lord of hosts, How long wilt thou not have mercy on Jerusalem and on the cities of Judah, against which thou hast had indignation these 70 years?
Now, you know what he's talking about. This is the 70 years, the 70, what we call the 70 weeks of Daniel. This, because that's what Daniel was reading. So I know by books that we supposed that the desolations will be on Jerusalem for 70 years. But you know, when Gabriel showed up, he that thing turned out to be 490 years, and it's still going. You know, and that's what this angel is talking about. Said, how long? Everybody's concerned about Israel. He said, how long you gonna be? He said, how long against thou have this indignation against Israel? Go ahead. What did the Lord say?
And the Lord answered the angel that talked with me with good words and comfortable words. So the angel that communed with me said unto me, cry thou, saying, thus said the Lord of hosts, I am jealous for Jerusalem and for Zion with a great jealousy, and I am very sore displeased with the heathen that are at ease. For I was but a little displeased, and they helped forward the affliction.
And you see what he said? He said, he said, look, man. If we read up a little higher in this verse, he said the whole earth is at rest. Ain't no wars, ain't nothing. You got a little bit of war, but the earth is at rest for the fighting against each other. But then he asked him, said, how long this indignation gonna be with Israel? And he said, look, man, I'm getting just a little tired of it. He said, I was in that 15th verse. He said, I am very so displeased with the heathen, with the nations that are at ease. He said, for I was but a little displeased, and they have helped further forward the affliction. Why? Because he put you over here among these Gentiles for them to rough you up. But they went just a little bit too far. Yeah. That's what he's saying. He said, and look what he said he's going to do next. Go ahead, verse 16.
Therefore, thus said the Lord, I am returned to Jerusalem with mercies. My house shall be built in it, said the Lord of hosts, and a line shall be stretched forth upon Jerusalem. Cry yet, saying, thus said the Lord of hosts, my cities through prosperity shall yet be spread abroad, and the Lord shall yet comfort Zion, and shall yet choose Jerusalem.
No, he gonna do everything in heaven. This guy ain't never said, that's why he's sitting on the right hand of the Father, waiting to get to the Sabbath. Get to the Sabbath? What Sabbath? The Sabbath rest of man. That's what he waiting on. But look, he said, he's speaking from present tense. He said, he said, therefore, thus said the Lord, I am returned to Jerusalem. He's speaking in present tense. He said, my house shall be built there. Because like I said, when he make up his mind to come, it's gonna be done, just like he said. And he gonna choose Jerusalem. Skip down. Go ahead with verse 18. Go ahead, keep reading. Go ahead with verse 18.
Then lifted up I mine eyes, and saw, and behold, 4 horns. And I said unto the angel that talked with me, what be these? And he answered me, these are the horns which have scattered Judah, Israel, and Jerusalem.
He wanted to know. He said, what be these horns? And I didn't finish that. I was supposed to have something else on that. He said, in that verse 18, he lifted up his eyes and saw and said, behold, 4 horns. Oh, I know what I did. That big man again. Every now and then it looks small, but it's big. But look what he's saying. He said unto the angel that talked with me. He said, what be these? And he answered me. He said, these are the horns which scattered Judah, Israel, and Jerusalem. Now let's put your mark here. We're coming back, and we're gonna look at these 4 horns. And we're gonna show you who these 4 horns are. Let's go. We coming right back. Let's go into Daniel, the second chapter, and see on we deal with 4 horns right quick. Let's go into Daniel, the second chapter, because this is Nebuchadnezzar is the first big ruler of this Gentile dynasty, and God put a dream in his head. He sent the word. He sent the dream in Nebuchadnezzar's head, but only somebody could interpret it was Israel. Ain't that something? The captain, because this was God's stuff, and the one that's gonna be able to translate this is God's people, and that the person at this time was Daniel. Pick it up at verse 1. Go ahead.
And in the second year of the reign of Nebuchadnezzar, Nebuchadnezzar dreamed dreams, wherewith his spirit was troubled, and his sleep brake from him. Then the king commanded to call the magicians, and the astrologers, and the sorcerers, and the Chaldeans, for to show the king his dreams. So they came and stood before the king.
And he couldn't nobody interpret his dream but Daniel. All them soothsayers and all the people around there that claimed they had all this power can see into the dark. Found out they couldn't do it. So only somebody could do it was Daniel. Let's skip down and get to the dream, the interpretation of the dream. Skip down to verse 36 and go ahead.
This is the dream, and we will tell the interpretation thereof before the king. Thou, O king, art a king of kings, for the God of heaven hath given thee a kingdom, power and strength and glory. And whatsoever the children of men dwell, the beasts of the field and the fowls of the heaven, have he given into thine hand, and have made thee ruler over them all. Thou art this head of gold. And after thee shall arise another kingdom inferior to thee, and another third kingdom of brass, which shall bear rule over all the earth. And the fourth kingdom shall be strong as iron, for as much as iron breaketh in pieces, and subdueth all things, and as iron that breaketh all these, shall it break in pieces and bruise. And whereas thou sawest the feet and toes, part of potter's clay and part of iron, the kingdom shall be divided. But there shall be in it of the strength of the iron, for as much as thou sawest the iron mixed with miry clay.
Now, Daniel was interpreting this dream. See, first he told Nebuchadnezzar, he saw a big statue, and you pay attention to the material of the statue started as it went down. It looked like it because it started off with gold, and then it went to silver, and then it went to brass. But he said, "You are this head of gold." And he said, whatsoever the children, that 38th verse, whatsoever the children dwell, and the beasts of the field, and the fowls of the heaven, have he given into thy hand.
Yeah.
This is one of these horns that we reading about. He was the head. Then he said, after thee there shall rise another kingdom, which is the Medes and the Persian. And then he said, and then a third kingdom, which is Alexander the Great, the Grecian. And then he said a fourth kingdom gonna rise, which is the Romans, the Roman Empire. And then we read that 41, we read about the European Union, because the European Union are the children of Rome, because they all had to sign a treaty called the Treaty of Rome. These are the told. And if you go back and read that the complete dream, but we ain't dealing with that today. When Jesus showed up, he hit the statue on the toe. Why he hit him on the toe? Because that's the one he gonna take down when he get here. All the rest of the head, Babylonian, the original Babylon is gone. The Medes and the Persian, gone. Alexander the Great, gone. The Romans, the Roman Empire, that's that head that was dead that came back to life. And he gonna. This is what the Great Tribulation is about. We dealing with 7 heads here, but 4 horns. But it's an 8 horn. It's an 8 head that's coming. And that's going to be in our time. The 8 head, because this makes 7 heads here. But it's going to be 8 heads. Because that 8 head is the one that's going to come back in our time and put the Roman Empire back together. But now you see how many we count here, though? 4. So those are those 4 horns that scattered Judah. Let's go back now. Did we finish that? Yeah, let's go back to Zechariah now. Because I just want to show you what this guy saw. He saw 4 horns. And now, if you say, well, how you know this the Gentile? Because we finna read it. That's how you know. Zechariah 1. Pick it up at verse 20. Go ahead.
And the Lord showed me 4 carpenters. Then said I, what come these to do? And he spake, saying, these are the horns which have scattered Judah, so that no man did lift up his head. But these are come to fray them, to cast out the horns of the Gentiles, which lifted up their horn over the land of Judah to scatter it.
Now you see, he's first he's seen these, now he see these 4 carpenters. They sent by the Lord. Because these 4 angels, and what they gonna do, they come into what? These are the horn which scattered Judah, so that no man lifted up their head. And nobody lifted up their head when they was cotton you off to slavery. He said, but these are come to fray them, to cast out the horns of the Gentile. And that's what we looking at. How I'm just working on way to this cup, that the Gentiles got to drink out of. Mm-hmm. Let's go into Jeremiah 27 chapter. Jeremiah 27 chapter. Says, Lord got a cup. You gonna drink. And the Gentiles have to hear this, but they can turn to the Lord because they have one door. And that door is through Jesus. And you have to make sure you don't come through the Jesus that they gave you. Let's go into Jeremiah 27. Pick it up at verse 4. 27 and 4. Go ahead.
And commanded them to say unto their masters, thus said the Lord of hosts, the God of Israel, thus shall ye say unto your masters, I have made the earth, the man and the beast that are upon the ground, by my great power and by my outstretched arm, and have given it unto whom it seemed meet unto me. And now have I given all these lands into the hand of Nebuchadnezzar, the king of Babylon, my servant. And the beasts of the field have I given him also to serve him.
Wait a minute, Jerome. Did you read something that wasn't there? You said Nebuchadnezzar is God's servant.
That's what it said.
That's what the book say.
Yep.
See, that's what I'm gonna deal with this later on. Nebuchadnezzar is God's servant because everybody worked for God.
Mm-hmm.
He was God's servant to take down and scatter Israel all over the landscape. That was his servant. I chose you to do this, like he chose Israel. Israel is God's servant. What were we chose for? To teach the sons of Adam.
Make it plain.
So he chose this guy because he said, in that 5th verse, he said, I made the earth and man and beast that are up on the ground. And by my great power and by my outstretched arm, I have given it unto whom it seemed meet unto me. He gave it to the Gentile, but we gonna pay. I want you to pay attention to what he said. He said all nations shall serve him. That's 1, right?
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna show you them 4 again. They gonna serve him and his son 2, and his son 3, and his son 4. And them 4 horns is until the very time of his land come, and then many nations and great king shall serve themselves on him. He ain't talking about Babylon that's serving on him. That done skipped all the way down in our time and beyond us. But we gonna serve not just Nebuchadnezzar. We gonna serve the son of the sons of the son of the Gentile, because they the one gonna be running this world. Let me show you something, and this might open up what I'm saying a little better. Read that 8th verse, and then I'm gonna remind you of an incident that the whole world is familiar with. Go ahead.
You don't want 7?
I'll read that 7. I'm ahead of you again.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, okay. Well, go ahead.
And all nations shall serve him and his son and his son's son until the very time of his land come. And then many nations and great kings shall serve themselves of him.
Go ahead with today.
And it shall come to pass that the nation and kingdom which will not serve the same Nebuchadnezzar, king of Babylon, and that will not put their neck under the yoke of the king of Babylon, that nation will I punish, saith the Lord, with the sword and with the famine and with the pestilence, until I have consumed them by his hand.
Now, let me remind y'all of somebody. Do y'all remember? We the world and forgot about it. Y'all remember Solomon saying, the one that's supposed to have all the mass destruction weapons?
Yeah.
And Bush went over there and tore that man's whole country up, killed his son, stole that 6 trailers a month. They had a 5 or 6 trailer load of cash money. They came up missing. Did he find any mass destruction weapons over there?
No.
But what happened? Saddam Hussein wouldn't put his neck under the yoke of the Gentile, George W. Bush.
Mm-hmm.
And what did the book just say? If you don't put your neck under this guy, what are you going to do? He going to pluck you out of your land. Didn't he do that to that brother?
Yes, he did.
But then that same little guy over there making all the missiles, which is a Gentile, he ain't did nothing to him, did he? Mm-hmm. He kept to everybody, Trump, everybody playing with this law. You better stop making them missiles. Have he stopped making them?
Nope.
But Saddam Hussein is not Gentile. So he wouldn't put his neck under yoke. Bush plucked that man out of his land. And when he got over there and plucked the man out of the land, made all that hoopla. And guess what they found? I think they found a package of firecrackers. He's supposed to have mass destruction.
Right. Man.
When I read that, I said, man, this book be on the money, man.
Yep.
It tells a story. It tells a story. But when we going to look at what he said at the end of that 7th verse, he said, when he bring this guy down, he said, many nations and great kings should serve themselves on them. Mm-hmm. And it's not how Nebuchadnezzar's Babylon in. Nebuchadnezzar died, then his son took over, and Belshazzar was in there drinking out of the Lord's cup. And that hand were on the wall.
Yeah, the cups of the temple.
Yeah, he's drinking out of God's stuff that his father took out of the holy cups that he took out of Jerusalem. Mm-hmm. Drinking with his concubine and praising the God of wood and God of gold. And Lord wrote that hand came and rolled on the wall. Once again, they had to go get Daniel, the Israelite. It must be something to that. Why you have to get Daniel? Because Daniel is the priest. Mm-hmm. That's what he was chosen to do. Why do you think I'm standing there teaching this morning? Because the Lord chose us to teach. I'm right in line. So he wrote some crazy, I ain't gonna say crazy. He wrote some stuff on the wall that he couldn't understand. And Daniel interpreted to him, said, look, man, you've been weighed in the balance and you want it. And that's very night, somebody killed Belshazzar. And who took over the kingdom? The Medes and the Persians. Mm-hmm. But he's talking about the whole, when he said, then many nations and great kings shall serve themselves on him. He's talking about the Babylon that's in existence right now. We still down in the toe part of this Babylon. Which is the European Union. We at the bottom part of it, brothers and sisters. Still Babylon, just the toe part. Let's go into that's low. Let's go into Jeremiah 50. Let's go into Jeremiah 50 and look at this. Let's get the Gentiles into drinking their cup here. Let's go into Jeremiah 50, and we're gonna pick it up at verse 1. Jeremiah 50, pick it up at verse 1. And then he gonna date this and show you what time this gonna be. Go ahead.
The word that the Lord spake against Babylon and against the land of the Chaldeans by Jeremiah the prophet, Declare ye among the nations, and publish, and set up a standard, publish and conceal not. Say, Babylon is taken, Baal is confounded, Merodach is broken in pieces. Her idols are confounded, her images are broken in pieces. For out of the north there cometh up a nation against her, which shall make her land desolate, and none shall dwell therein. They shall remove, they shall depart, both man and beast.
Now you know somebody out of the north. We gonna show you again. So one of God's chosen people's gonna come out of the north. we gonna deal with it in a minute. But now you gonna date what time all this gonna go on. Read that next verse. Go ahead.
In those days and in that time, said the Lord, the children of Israel shall come, they and the children of Judah together, going and weeping. They shall go and seek the Lord their God. They shall ask the way of Zion with their faces thitherward, saying, Come, let us join ourselves to the Lord in a perpetual covenant that shall not be forgotten.
Now, when is this going to come? When is Israel going to, he say, in those days and at that time, said the children of Israel and the children of Judah. That's all 12 tribes, ain't it? Oh. He said they going to come, they going to be together going weeping and shall go and seek the Lord, their God. He'll show you why though. And they shall ask the way of Zion. They'll be saying, oh man, I'm going back down south. It got too rough in the city. They gonna be seeking the way of Zion. Because their king gonna be there. Because this is at the coming of the Lord. When the Gentiles drink this cup. And he said at that time, he's in that days and at that time. You know, so he dated it for you. Let you know when this gonna happen. Go ahead with that verse 6. What did happen to Israel? Go ahead.
My people have been lost sheep. Their shepherds have caused them to go astray. They have turned them away on the mountains. They have gone from mountain to hill. They have forgotten their resting place. All that found them had devoured them. And their adversaries said, we offend not, because they have sinned against the Lord, the habitation of justice, even the Lord, the hope of their fathers.
Now look what he said. He said in that 6th verse, he said, my people have been lost sheep. Let's see why they lost. He said, their shepherd, they preachers, have caused them to go astray because they won't teach the word of God. He said, they have turned them away on every mountain. They have gone from mountain to hill, from church to church. We've been in every church on the planet. They have forgotten their resting place. Our resting place gonna be Jerusalem. That's where we supposed to look for our word to come from, out of Jerusalem. Which this word was started in Judea, published after the baptism of John the Baptist. He said, everybody that found us, talking about Israel, took a little advantage of them. You know, they come in your neighborhood. See, integration, man, we didn't know. You know, when you look at the deal of integration, we thought, man, we need to be integrated. We want the same thing that everybody else wants. And we was talking about we want the same right, but the Gentile was looking at, wow, these people spend a lot of money. They was looking at your money. And that's what they integrated into, right into your money. What happened to our little mom? And when I came to Chicago, Jerome, it was a little ma and pa store on every corner. Yeah. We was making money. And then they integrated. And they integrated right into your purse. Yeah. You know, because everybody that found you, and then they didn't think they was doing nothing wrong. Why? Look what they said. we offend not. Because these people are sinning against their Lord, the habitation of justice, even the Lord of hope, their Father. And your shepherd won't even teach you this. Yeah. For you won't be angry. It's so many brothers and sisters sitting in jail probably because they didn't know this. Because I'm going to tell you, man, I was an angry brother too, Jerome. Because I couldn't figure out what I done did. Why y'all treating me like this? I ain't did nothing to nobody. And I was real rough on every job I was on. Thank God the Lord, thank God, God saw some reason for me not to get whooped and for me to get fired. Because I didn't take a whole lot of mess, you know. And because I was angry. Skip down to verse 9 and go ahead.
You want 8?
Oh, no, skip down to verse 9.
Okay. For lo, I will raise and cause to come up against Babylon an assembly of great nations from the north country, and they shall set themselves in array against her. From thence shall she shall be taken. Their arrows shall be as of a mighty expert man. None shall return in vain. And Chaldea shall be a spoil. All that spoil her shall be satisfied, saith the Lord, because ye were glad, because ye rejoiced, O ye destroyers of mine heritage, because ye are grown fat as the heifer at grass and billow as bulls.
Now we gonna get to that heifer eating all that grass. But first in that verse 9, look what he said. He said, I'm gonna raise up and cause to come up against Babylon a similar great nation. Ain't that what we read in Jeremiah?
Mm-hmm.
This Babylon he's talking about is in our time. This is the bottom part, the toes, those 10 toes, which is called the EU. He said, but look what he said about Babylon. He said, you're gonna be spoiled. He said, all that spoil and all that spoil her shall be satisfied. Because look what he said. He said, because you was glad, because you rejoiced, O destroyer of my inheritance. Because you got rich out there. You what he's saying, because you have grown, he said, because you are grown fat as a heifer eating grass. You like a big old cow just out there eating. You know what he's talking about? All that cotton we picked. They didn't pay us. They grew rich off it. All the tobacco. They grew rich off of that. Just like oil is the big thing now. Back then, what was the big thing? Cotton.
Yeah.
He grew rich off of that. And the Lord don't like it. The Lord got this. Don't y'all get upset. The Lord got this. He got a cup. You know. Go ahead with verse 12. Go ahead. Because we got to read almost this whole chapter talking about these guys. Go ahead.
Your mother shall be sore confounded. She that bare you shall be ashamed. Behold, the hindermost of the nations shall be a wilderness, a dry land, and a desert. Because of the wrath of the Lord, it shall not be inhabited, but it shall be wholly desolate. Everyone that goeth by Babylon shall be astonished and hiss at all her plagues. Put yourselves in array against Babylon round about. All ye that bend the bow, shoot at her, spare no arrows, for she hath sinned against the Lord. Shoot against her round about. She hath given her hand. Her foundations are fallen. Her walls are thrown down. For it is the vengeance of the Lord. Take vengeance upon her as she hath done. Do unto her. Cut off the sword from Babylon, and him that handleth the sickle in the time of harvest. For fear of the oppressing sword, they shall turn everyone to its people, and they shall flee everyone to his own land.
See, now you understand that fourth verse now. Why is it? What do you say? Israel gonna be seeking the Lord because look what he said. It gonna be so terrible that he said the sword shall turn everyone to his people, and they shall everyone flee to their own land. Where you going, Mr. Afro-American? Where your land at?
Mississippi.
Go on down there. You gonna run right into a tree. Boom. Boom. Next thing you know, you're up in there. Okay. That's why you're gonna be seeking Zion. Yeah. You don't know where you from. Go on over there to your African brother. He still got them same machetes he had when he
Ooh.
killed over 1 million Israelites. He still got them.
Yep.
Run over to Ethiopia. They still got us in captivity over there. Where you going, Mr. Israelite? Mr. Negro?
Yeah.
Hey, what land you gonna turn to? You going to the land of Negro? Ain't no land. You gonna run back to, I just told you can't go to Africa. That ain't none of your land. Where your land at? The Jewish people sitting on it. Run on over there. You better wait on the Lord. You go over there too soon. He go, you that's why he said they gonna seek the Lord. Because that's the only something we gonna have at that time. The Lord, what we gonna go? What I'm gonna do now, Lord? What I'm gonna do now? It's gonna be a terrible time when he started bringing this Gentile down. Go ahead with verse 17.
Israel is a scattered sheep. The lions have driven her away. First, the king of Assyria had devoured him, and last, this Nebuchadnezzar, king of Babylon, have broken his bones. Therefore, thus said the Lord of hosts, the God of Israel, behold, I will punish the king of Babylon and his land, as I have punished the king of Assyria.
Now, I don't know what this guy talking about here. What is he talking about? I always refer to Jews, their faith is dead if they don't convert Islam. He said that's what we have to convert to. I don't know what you're saying. Talk a little, I know you probably from another country, some. Could you make it a little plain? I'm old country boy, you know. You have to break stuff down plain to me. Just make it plain, bro, because I don't know what you're talking about. We reading the book.
The real Jews, their faith is the oracles of God. They got the answers of the God of the creation.
That's right.
Oh,
So I don't know what I hope the Jewish say it like that. Then we'll know who you're talking about. Because we Israel, and then you got the Jewish peoples. Why don't you say it like that? Esau, Edom, and that'll be real clear, and it won't be no misunderstanding in your statement. We don't mind. We don't mind you coming on here. Just make sure it's clear that we can understand what you're talking about. I don't even know what you're talking about. I don't know what you're talking about. I'm gonna let you stay there for a minute. Don't get talking too crazy because I still got my block master. I hope I have to pull this shirt up and that big B come up on my chest. Not Superman, block man. That'll pop up in a minute. But look what he say, Israel. He said, Israel is a scattered sheep. The lion have driven him. Who is this lion? Babylon. He said, and the king of Assyria. Who did the king of Assyria take out? The nine tribe. Yeah. He said, have devoured them. He said, and Nebuchadnezzar, the king of Babylon, had broken his bone. Lord is laying this thing out here. He said, therefore, thus said the Lord of hosts, the God of Israel, behold, I will punish the king of Babylon and his land as I have punished the king of Assyria. Where is the king of Assyria in these days? You don't even know where they're at, do you? Because the Lord wiped him out. This God ain't gonna be playing. This God is not playing. This gonna come to pass. I tell people, just like we got over here in slavery, didn't that come to pass?
Yeah.
Well, what make you think what he's saying here ain't gonna come to pass? Skip down. Go ahead with verse 19. Go ahead, because we got to read this whole chapter.
And I will bring Israel again to his habitation, and he shall feed at Carmel and Bashan, and his soul shall be satisfied upon Mount Ephraim and Gilead. In those days, and in that time, said the Lord, the iniquity of Israel shall be sought for, and there shall be none. And the sins of Judah, and they shall not be found, for I will pardon them whom I reserve.
Now you see, brothers and sisters, reading while we reading about the Gentiles cup, but when the Gentiles cup stuff, you notice Israel, we finally getting up out of our cup. We getting up out of that big cup we had to drink. Because this is, he said, He said, I sorted for, he said, the iniquity of Israel shall be sorted for, and there shall be none. Sin of Judah, and they shall not be found, for I will pardon them whom I reserve. Because he gonna be here. He finna sanitize Israel and put them, we gonna read it, he gonna put them back on their job. And their job is to teach the world about this great God. Just when that sky rolled back a stroll, now everybody wonder, who was that? You have to come to us to find out. You have to come to Israel. I'm reading the book. Skip down to verse 25 and go ahead.
The Lord hath opened his armory and have brought forth the weapons of his indignation. For this is the work of the Lord God of hosts in the land of the Chaldeans. Come against her from the utmost border. Open her storehouses, cast up heaps, and destroy her utterly. Let nothing of her be left. Slay all her bullocks. Let them go down to the slaughter. Woe unto them, for their day is come, the time of their visitation.
Oh, he's bringing all this thing on these Gentiles. He's bringing it in, bringing them on them. And he done opened up his big armory. The big army finna come at him. Because we're going to show you how he going to do this with this big army. Skip down to verse 29 and go ahead.
Call together the archers against Babylon. All ye that bend the bow, come against it round about. Let none thereof escape. Recompense her according to her work, according to all that she hath done. Do unto her, for she hath been proud against the Lord, against the Holy One of Israel. Therefore shall her young men fall in the streets, and all her men of war shall be cut off in that day, saith the Lord. Behold, I am against thee, O thou most proud, said the Lord of hosts, for that day is come, the time that I will visit thee, and the most proud shall stumble and fall, and none shall raise up, and I will kindle a fire in his cities, and it shall devour all round about him.
See, you better believe he calling this Gentile most proud, and we had one sitting in the seat of the presidency. Was Donald Trump. I ain't gonna bite my tongue myself. He was most proud. He boasts and then he was in there being wicked. He don't pay no taxes. And steady lying. And then you got, and the sad part about it, you got Israel, they following this guy, and you want to vote for this guy. You know, I know all politicians is bad. Ain't no good politician, but when you see a guy like him was so proud, and they think, did you really think? I asked a brother, do you really think Donald Trump was about you? You know why they love Donald Trump? He was putting money in their pocket. He ain't put too much in yours. Why you loving it? Because you don't like the Democrats. And okay, I can't like that guy. Like I told a brother, oh, well, why you don't like Donald Trump? I said, man, if a brother would have been in that seat, if Obama would have carried on like that, and Obama's not us, but he got our skin complexion. If he would have carried on like that, they'd have drug Obama out of the White House and hung him probably right in front of the White House. But this brother was all proud and talk crazy all the time. You know, let's see what this brother had to keep an eye on this conversation. We are all cheering now the eve, so the first born of the son, which best both line, but brother and myself. Oh God, okay, I can live with that. But this guy, Lord gonna bring this drum on them because they done magnify themselves against, and guess what? They still had their foot on Israel's neck. Then everybody, those horns that lift up their hands to destroy Israel, they've been doing it. But you can't be mad at them because the Lord is writing this story. What verse we stop at? 32?
Yeah.
Go ahead with that 33.
Thus said the Lord of hosts, the children of Israel and the children of Judah were oppressed together, and all that took them captives held them fast. They refused to let them go. Their Redeemer is strong. The Lord of hosts is his name. He shall thoroughly plead their cause, that he may give rest to the land and disquiet the inhabitants of Babylon.
See, reason why we so mixed in Babylon's cup, because when they drink in their cup, that's when we coming back to the forefront and be on our job to do what God set us up to do. Because they run this world. You know, he got to take them down. Go ahead with that verse 35.
A sword upon the Chaldeans, said the Lord, upon the inhabitants of Babylon, and upon her princes, and upon her wise men. A sword is upon the liars, and they shall die. A sword is upon her mighty men, and they shall be dismayed. A sword is upon their horses, and upon their chariots, and upon all the mingled people that are in the midst of her. And they shall become as women. A sword is upon her treasures, and they shall be robbed.
Uh-oh. The Lord got some stuff on them. Did y'all? But he said one some here. He said one some here now. Look what he said. He said, sword gonna be up on their horses, up on their chariots. You know, up on up on their meaningless people, and in the midst of her, and they shall become as women. There ain't no down for women. In other words, it's like a woman fighting against a strong man. That's all he's saying here. But this the part that I heard. He said, a sword shall be up on what? They treasure, and they shall be what? Robbed. What did this take you back to, Jerome? When we came out of Egypt?
Yeah.
What did Israel do to the Egyptians? They spoiled them Egyptians. They took everything. All this cotton we done picked. We finna get paid right here. This is what he's talking about. This is their cup. They all about money. But God laying all that money up for who? Let's go and see. Let's let the book tell it. You know, I don't want nobody to think I'm being prejudiced and say he's just gonna take all the Gentiles' money. I'm reading the book. And this is another something, Jerome. This is for these people saying, oh man, y'all reading that white man's book. Why did the Gentiles out of European, they the one that run this world. Didn't we read that? Mm-hmm. Why would you write a story that you gonna get the worst end of it?
Yeah.
Why would you write a story like this? And all your money gonna come over. Let's let the book tell you. I don't want to. Let's let the book, because he gonna rob them for what we didn't did to Israel. That's part of their cup, and that's our cup is in it. Because we got to drink a long time. Let's go into Isaiah 60. Let's go into Isaiah 60. Because he said they gonna get robbed. The Lord said that, not me.
Yeah.
That's Isaiah 61. Go ahead.
Arise, shine, for thy light is come, and the glory of the Lord is risen upon thee. For behold, the darkness shall cover the earth, and gross darkness the people. But the Lord shall arise upon thee, and his glory shall be seen upon thee. And the Gentiles shall come to thy light, and kings to the brightness of thy rising. Lift up thine eyes round about and see. All they gather themselves together, they come to thee. Thy sons shall come from far, and thy daughters shall be nursed at thy side.
Oh, look what he's doing here. Look what he's doing here. He said they're gonna bring your sons and daughters. But he said all that is gathered. Who it gonna come to? It gonna come unto thee. It gonna come unto thee. He said, lift up thy eyes round about and see all that gather themselves together. They come unto thee. Thy son shall come from far. Because we've been scattered all over the landscape. And thy daughters shall be nursed by their side. Go ahead with verse 5.
Then thou shalt see and flow together, and thy heart shall fear and be enlarged, because of the abundance of the sea shall be converted unto thee. The forces of the Gentiles shall come unto thee.
Oh, the forces of the Gentile. What is the force of the Gentile?
Treasure.
All their money.
Yep.
He finna tell you. He finna tell you. Go ahead and keep reading. Let's see what's gonna come to us. Go ahead.
The multitude of camels shall cover thee. The dromedaries of Midian and Ephah, all they from Sheba shall come. They shall bring gold and incense, and they shall show forth the praise of the Lord. All the flocks of Kedar shall be gathered together unto thee. The rams of Nebaioth shall minister unto thee. They shall come up with acceptance on mine altar, and I will glorify the house of my glory.
Oh, and that's what he's talking about. Everything that the Gentiles, they love money. That's their big thing. All of a sudden, the force of the Gentile, all that cotton we pick, all that tobacco we pick. Lord, he getting it back. Same way they did. That's one thing about this God. He do the same thing all the time.
Yeah.
Same thing they did when they came out of Egypt. They left out of Egypt rich. But all of a sudden, look what happened now. The same thing is happening when he pull us from among the Gentiles and gather us from all land. This is this God. What verse you stop at? Verse
We at 9 now.
Okay, skip down to verse 9 and go ahead and read.
Surely the isles shall wait for me, and the ships of Tarshish first, to bring thy sons from far, their silver and their gold with them, unto the name of the Lord thy God, and to the Holy One of Israel, because he hath glorified thee. And the sons of strangers shall build up thy walls, and their kings shall minister unto thee. For in my wrath I smote thee, but in my favor I have had mercy on thee. Therefore thy gates shall be open continually, they shall not be shut day nor night, that men may bring unto thee the forces of the Gentiles, and that their kings may be brought. For the nation and kingdom that will not serve thee shall perish. Yeah, those nations shall be utterly wasted.
See, everybody forgot that little statement that Peter asked in Acts, the first chapter. He asked the Lord, so will you at this time restore the kingdom back to Israel? This is the time right here. Is when the Gentiles drinking their cup, because they the one got the kingdom, which is the earth. And Peter asked that question. So he thought he was going to do it at that time. He said, Lord, will you at this time going to restore the kingdom back to Israel? What we read now, he restoring the kingdom back to Israel.
That's right, bro.
That's what we read. We reading the Gentiles in a cup, and we reading that we coming out of that big cup we've been drinking out.
Yeah.
Lord is even-handed with this thing. That's why I said you don't get off in the hatred. Lord is the one writing this story. Only something you just keep praising the Lord. Praising the Lord. Because the Lord going to bring this thing back around the way it's supposed to be. This is the Lord's story. And I'm just reading it. I'm just reading the Lord's story. Go ahead with verse 13.
The glory of Lebanon shall come unto thee, the fir tree, the pine tree, and the box together, to beautify the place of my sanctuary, and I will make the place of my feet glorious. The sons also of them that afflicted thee shall come bending unto thee, and all they that despise thee shall bow themselves down at the soles of thy feet, and they shall call thee the city of the Lord, the Zion of the Holy One of Israel. Whereas thou hast been forsaken and hated, so that no man went through thee, I will make thee an eternal excellency, a joy of many generations.
Look what he said. And I hope Israel get this. He said they will come bowing at your feet. He said nobody will come kissing your feet. Israel been talking that crazy stuff. What did Peter did when Cornelius bent down to kiss his, bow down to him? He told him, man, stand up. For I am a man, just like you. Ain't nobody gonna be kissing your feet in Israel out there doing that crazy stuff. He said, but all the stuff that the Gentile got, they gonna bring it down there. That's gonna beautify the soul of whose feet?
Yeah.
Of Jesus, brother and sister. You know, he said, wherefore thou hast been forsaken and hated, so that no man went through thee. I will make thee eternal excellent, a joy of many generations.
Yeah.
Once again, what he gonna do, he gonna set us up. Now you understand, the whole world gonna be set up just the way Solomon was. The whole world gonna be coming to Israel to get this wisdom, knowledge, and understanding. They gonna come, all of them gonna come up to Jerusalem and get their orders. Because the Lord gonna be there. That's where the Lord done set this thing up. You know, the Lord done did this. We reading about what the Lord gonna do. Skip down to verse 18 and go ahead.
Violence shall no more be heard in thy land, wasting nor destruction within thy borders. But thou shalt call thy walls salvation, and thy gates praise. The sun shall be no more thy light by day, neither for brightness shall the moon give light unto thee. But the Lord shall be unto thee an everlasting light, and thy God thy glory. The sun shall no more go down, neither shall thy moon withdraw itself, for the Lord shall be thine everlasting light, and the days of thy mourning shall be ended. Thy people also shall be all righteous. They shall inherit the land forever. The branch of my planting, the work of my hands, that I may be glorified.
Oh, he said, be glorified. He said, you know this is going to be a different time. He said, violence shall no more be heard in that land, wasted and destruction in thy border. But thou shalt be called what? The wall of salvation. Y'all do know that the only reason I'm here is for salvation. I ain't here to hate, point the finger. I am here for salvation. You know, that's why I'm here. I'm just here for the salvation. But he said, the sun shall be no more thy light, neither by the brightness shall the moon give light unto thee, but the Lord will be thy everlasting light. Man, that's gonna be a good time. This is what we waiting for. That's why we keep the Sabbath. Because all of this what we reading about is the Sabbath day.
Yes, sir.
You know, all that we reading about is the Sabbath day. You know, did we finish that this time?
Yeah.
Okay, you read all the way down to 21?
Uh-huh.
He said, thy people also shall be righteous. Israel gonna be righteous?
Yes, sir.
You know this in the future. He said, and they shall inherit the land for how long? Forever. The branch of my planting and the work of my hand shall be glorious.
And Ishmael ain't gonna have nothing to say about it.
I bet they're gonna be standing back looking and say, wow.
Okay.
Wow. Because also when he bringing this cup on the Gentile, same time he gonna bring that cup on Edom.
Yeah, Edom ain't gonna have nothing to say about it either. That's right.
All them people don't supposed to be there. They're gonna be running and hiding, hoping the rocks to hide them under the rock.
Okay.
When this great God comes. This don't happen. And we here in slavery? Then we go through slavery? Didn't that happen? What makes you think this ain't gonna happen? Go right over to Isaiah 61, and we're gonna pick it up at verse 5. Because they got to drink this cup. They cup. That's why he told Israel, don't get off in the hatred. Everybody got to drink their cup. Mm-hmm. We drinking ours, they got to drink theirs. Yeah. And you can't rejoice.
Right.
When they bring that drum on. Matter of fact, you should be praying. You better do like what Habakkuk did when he seen the Lord. He said he gonna invade them when he come up on them. And Habakkuk said, Lord, please have mercy in your wrath. That's the mindset you got to have. Said, Lord, be merciful. Because this guy, when he come back, he ain't coming back as the lamb. He come back as a lion. And he gonna tear some grass up when he get here.
Yeah.
He gonna mow some grass. Isaiah 61. And let's pick it up at verse 5. Go ahead.
And strangers shall stand and feed your flocks, and the sons of the aliens shall be your plowmen and your vine dressers. But ye shall be named the priests of the Lord. Men shall call you the ministers of our God. Ye shall eat the riches of the Gentiles, and in their glory shall ye boast yourselves. For your shame ye shall have double, and for confusion they shall rejoice in their portion. Therefore, in their land they shall possess the double. Everlasting joy shall be unto them.
Now look what he said there. The strangers, see, we ain't gonna have time for this. Yeah, he said, strangers shall stand and feed your flock, Israel, and the sons of aliens shall be your plowmen and your vine dressers. Why you ain't doing your own vine dressing? Because look what he did for you. He took you right back, like I said. You got to get back on your job, Israel. You got 1,000 years to do your job. You know, he said, look, verse 6, he said, but ye shall be named what? The priests of God. Is that a new name for you? Ain't that the name he gave you when you came out of Egypt?
Yep.
You're going to be a kingdom of priests. Now he putting you back on your job. He said, all of a sudden, you're going to be the minister of who? Of our God. And you shall eat the riches of the Gentiles. You Gentiles keep making that money. We going to enjoy it. You know, make some more money. Because the more you make, the more we going to enjoy. Because the Lord he going to rob you. That's part of your cup. The Lord going to do that. He said, for their shame, ye have double. And for confusion, they shall rejoice in their portion. Therefore, in their land, they shall possess the double. Everlasting joy should be upon them. Finally, we didn't come out of that cup that we drinking.
It's an everlasting joy, didn't it?
Everlasting joy. Can you imagine you gonna be grinning like this every day?
Yeah.
Because you got everlasting joy. But you know so that's why you got to endure this cup. That's why he said the one that endure to the end. Look what you gonna enjoy. Yeah. I'm trying to. I want to be when that time comes, Jerome. I want to be a spirit being. I want to enjoy that. But let's go back to Jeremiah 51. And let's get back to this cup that the Gentiles got to drink out of. That the Gentile, everybody got to drink their cup. You know, let's pick it up. Let's pick it up. Man, what is Friday, man? We got some people out here today. I had to be mindful of the comments here. I don't agree with that statement. God is the God of all creation. You know, let's not get into our own personal opinion. Let's just stick with what the book said. You know, let's just deal with the book in the comment, brothers and sisters. He is the God of Israel, but he's the God of the whole creation. And when he come back, he gonna be king over the whole earth. Whole earth. Let's go back to he got to do these cups to get back to him because they don't want to control the earth. He's got to get them out of the way and do it and finally answer that question that Peter asked in Acts the 1st chapter. Will you at this time restore the kingdom back to Israel? That's what we're really reading about. Jeremiah 51 and pick it up at verse 1. Go ahead.
Thus said the Lord, behold, I will raise up against Babylon and against them that dwell in the midst of them that rise up against me, and a destroying wind, and will send unto Babylon fanners that shall fan her, and shall empty her land. For in the day of trouble they shall be against her round about.
Okay, Yahweh ben Yahweh. I'm already here. That's what Yahweh ben Yahweh thought he was Jesus. Where he at now? So I hope these guys come back when I do some of them just show up when you're doing a lesson like this. We teach the whole Bible, so show up when I'm teaching the whole Bible. Show up I'm out here 5 days a week. I'm already here. Who are you? Really, you nobody. You better quit playing. So you end up like Yahweh ben Yahweh in the grave. So, but look what he said here. Look what he said. He said, thus said the Lord, behold, I will raise up against Babylon, against them that dwell in the midst of them, and raise up against them a destroying wind. He said, I will send unto Babylon fanners. They ain't fanning them to keep them warm. They taking them down. That's what he come to do. That's what he come to do. Skip down to verse 5 and go ahead.
For Israel have not been forsaken, nor Judah of his God, of the Lord of hosts, though their land was filled with sin against the Holy One of Israel. Flee out of the midst of Babylon and deliver every man his soul. Be not cut off in her iniquity. For this is the time of the Lord's vengeance. He will render unto her a recompense.
Oh, go ahead. What verse was that?
That was 6.
Yeah, see, you notice how Israel keep coming up in their cup? He keep coming up in their cup. King David is coming, you're right. I have a testimony. Please hold your testimony until after the show. We don't need to hear your testimony right now. We appreciate you got one, but we into some good reading here. Hold your testimony. Oh, now there you come out here with this apocryphal stuff. Now you gonna get blocked real quick. We don't deal with the apocryphals on this show, okay? Now you getting a warning. I'm giving you a warning. We don't deal with the apocryphals on this show.
Or any of the lost books. We don't deal with.
We don't deal with no lost books on this show, brother. We deal with King James version of the Bible. Now, if you don't like that, you might be asked to leave. I'm gonna give you an opportunity to stay and chat and listen to the lesson, okay? But if you want to clown, we ain't gonna clown on this show. We reading the book. This is the book that everybody out here believe this book. Now, if you don't believe it, we don't get off in them lost books. If they lost, I want to know how you find them. If they lost, let's keep them lost. But you notice Israel is sturdy coming up in their cups. Every time he mentions a cup, Israel is popping up in it. Because this whole thing is about getting Israel back in position for the world can learn righteousness. Go ahead with that verse 6.
7.
Go ahead with well, you read 6?
Yeah.
See, I'm watching my comments now. He said, look what he told you to do. Flee out of the midst of Babylon. Deliver every man his soul. Be not cut off with her iniquity. For this is the time of the Lord's vengeance. So how do we get out of Babylon? Get out of that Babylon teaching. That's what you got to do. Get out of that Babylon teaching. Brother, I'm going to ask you one more time to listen and stop teaching. I'm going to ask you again. And the next time you have a channel, then do all that on your channel. This is my channel. It's called the Coffin Bible Hour channel. I'm going to ask you one more time to chill out. That's what I'm going to ask you to do. If you ain't here to cause trouble, stop causing it then. I'm going to ask you one more time. And then you're gonna be talking outside of the chat. Okay? So that's all I'm asking you. One more time. Put one more comment in there that I disagree with. You gonna sit and look. You can still hear the show. And then you can put whatever you got to say, my brother. You can put it in this email. Get here on time next time. Because we ain't got time for you to come over here and teach your opinion. You got something to say? Email me. I'll talk to you. But you're not going to be in the chat having your own little program. It ain't gonna happen. Not on my watch. So if you wanna, that's your final warning. Don't put nothing else out there talking crazy. You deal with what we dealing with right here. We dealing with the cup of we dealing with the Lord's, the cup of the Lord's Spirit on the Gentile. Now, if you got something to say, talk about that. Other than that, I don't want to hear nothing else you got to say. We gonna enjoy this show, and you ain't gonna mess it up. Where we at here?
We finished 6.
I mean, I have to get back and find where we in Isaiah. Where we at?
51:6.
51:6. Okay, I have to get that back up there. You know, and then he's telling you to flee out of Babylon. Now you got to flee out of them in your mind. Get away from that Babylon teaching. You know, that the Sabbath is Sunday. Get out of that. That Easter. Get out of that. Going to heaven. Get out of that. That's how you flee now. Because he finna hook this up to that church we finna read about in a few minutes. Read that verse 7. Go ahead.
Babylon had been a golden cup in the Lord's hand that made all the earth drunken. The nations have drunken of her wine. Therefore, the nations are mad. Babylon is suddenly fallen and destroyed. Howl for her, take balm for her pain. If so, be she may be healed.
Sister, I'm gonna get with the program. Sister, I'm gonna get with the program, but I'm gonna control my chat too. That's part of my program. So you trying to learn? That's why I'm trying to get that junk from out there. You know, that's I got this. You know, all you got to do is keep your pencil and paper and keep writing. But look what he said. Babylon have been a golden cup in the Lord's hand that made all the earth drunk. Drunk with what? With that bad doctrine. What I'm just telling you about. The nations are drunken of her wine. Therefore, the nations are mad. You know how mad they are. They think they can get 3 days and 3 nights from Good Friday to early Sunday morning. That's how mad they are. Skip down to that verse 13. But I want you to remember that golden cup in Babylon's hand. And remember this right here, because this leading to something else. The Bible always connect. Read that verse 13. Go ahead.
O thou that dwellest upon many waters, abundant in treasures, thine end is come, and the measure of thy covetousness.
Now you see what it said? O thou that dwell on what? Many waters. Let's make the connection with this. Let's go into Revelation. You got golden cup and many waters. Let's make the connection, because this Babylonians got a church. That's what we finna read about. This is the whore's church. Why it's called the whore's church? Because Jesus is gonna marry the church. The church is Israel, but they masquerade, fooling the whole world that they are the church of the Lord. That's why he called them the whore. Let's go into Revelation, the 17th chapter. Let's read the book. That's what we here to learn what's written in the book. You know, Revelation 17, and pick it up at verse 1. Go ahead.
And there came one of the 7 angels, which had the 7 vials, and talketh with me, saying unto me, Come hither, I will show unto thee the judgment of the great whore that sitteth upon many waters, with whom the kings of the earth have committed fornication, and the inhabitants of the earth have been made drunk with the wine of her fornication. So he carried me away in the spirit unto the wilderness. And I saw a woman sit upon a scarlet-colored beast, full of the names of blasphemy, having 7 heads and 10 horns. And the woman was arrayed in purple and scarlet color, and decked with gold and precious stones and pearls, having a golden cup in her hand, full of the abominations and filthiness of her fornication.
Ain't that the same? That's Babylon. Ain't that the same one we were reading about in Jeremiah 51? He said in that verse 1, he said, came one of the 7 angels which had the 7 vials and talked with me. Said, come hither. and I will show you the judgment. Because the Lord bringing his judgment on the Gentile. The great whore that sits on many waters. What is this many waters? He talking about many. This guy sits on many people, multitudes and nations and tongues. Because everywhere you go, you can find a Catholic church.
Yeah.
That's what he's talking about. And he said, which the kings of the earth have committed fornication, and the habits of the land, the habits of the earth have been made drunk with the wine of fornication. What wine? Her doctrine. And all the kings of the earth, the kings of the United States of America, well, every time they become president, what do they do, Jerome? Whose ring do they go in there and kiss?
They kiss Papa's ring.
The Pope of Rome.
Yeah.
Because they are the world's religion. He is the high priest over the earth. And look what he said. He carried away the beast having 7 heads and 10 horns. That's still a Gentile dynasty. Babylon represents 1 head. The Medes and the Persians represent 1 head. That's 2. Alexander the Great, the Greeks represent 4 heads. That's a total of 6 heads. And that Rome is 7 heads. But who we waiting on now, brothers and sisters, is we waiting on that 8 head. When that 8 head show up, we thought it was this guy that used to be over. We thought it was him. But all of a sudden, he got out of there. Mm-hmm. I got some clipping out of paper. Do you know that the European Union own the biggest food market in the world? Mm-hmm. So if you can control the food, guess what else you can control? The world.
Yeah. That's what it's called too. European Common Market.
Right. Because they control the food. I got a clip in here in my drawer right here. I'm gonna read a little of it. I cut this out of the paper a long time ago, Jerome. This guy here, I probably can't pronounce his name. Romero Prodia. He was chosen to be the commissioner of the European Union. This was in 99. And everybody thought this guy was going to put the European Union back together. In other words, put the Roman Empire back together. I got another little piece in here. And they was laughing about, I would have to look at my drawer over here. They was actually laughing about, because they were saying the European Union, all of a sudden, the European Union is getting their military together. That's back in 89. They said, wait a minute, the European Union? I don't know what my other little piece said. But I keep this because they are the largest food budget in the world. Mm-hmm. That sounds like they can have what we call a controlled famine, can't you? If you control the food, But that's who you dealing with. Now this is the church part, this whore, which is the whole system that Babylon has set up. Mm-hmm. Go ahead. What did he call them? Verse 5.
And upon her forehead was a name written, Mystery, Babylon the Great, the mother of harlots and the abominations of the earth.
The what? The abomination of the whole earth, brothers and sisters. The abomination of the whole earth. This Babylon. Because what this guy done did, he's taking away your shot at salvation by giving you a phony religion that the whole world is following. Yeah. And the Lord gonna come down on these Gentiles. Let's go. Did we finish that?
You got 9 and 18.
Oh, okay. Oh, you're right. We got to identify them. Skip down to verse 9 and let's see where we can find this whore's church at. This whore, what she's sitting at. Go ahead.
And here is the mind which have wisdom. The 7 heads are 7 mountains on which the woman sitteth.
Oh, go and read and find out what nation is built on 7 hills and 7 mountains. What nation is that? Rome. And then he give you one more hint. Skip down to 18. He started trying to give it to you, but you got to read this book and get some understanding. Verse 18, go ahead.
And the women which thou sawest is that great city which reigneth over the kings of the earth.
Oh, the woman where you saw she was sitting. He said, the woman which thou sawest in that great city. What great city? Vatican City. Mm-hmm. They're a Soviet Union. They're inside of another nation. They're almost a nation within a nation. You know, let's go into Isaiah now. Let's keep reading about this cup, because he gonna get somebody to bring him down. Let's see what. Now we're finna deal with the great tribulation part. It's all part of this cup he bringing on the Gentiles, because he gonna have Gentiles fighting against Gentiles. But he's doing that for a reason. We're gonna show you. Isaiah 13, Rome, and pick it up at verse 1. Isaiah 13, and pick it up at verse 1. Go ahead.
The burden of Babylon, which Isaiah the son of Amos did see. Lift up the banner upon the high mountain. Exalt the voice unto them. Shake the hand, that they may go into the gates of the nobles. I have commanded my sanctified ones. I have also called my mighty ones from mine anger over them that rejoice in my highness.
Oh, so he got a sanctified one. He said, I have commanded my sanctified one. The sanctified one is the one that he's sending to take down Babylon. I also have called my mighty one in my anger, even them that rejoice in his highest. Because, he finna choose somebody else for another job here. He said, my sanctified one. Go ahead with that verse 4.
The noise of a multitude in the mountains, like as of a great people, a tumultuous noise of the kingdoms of nations gather together. The Lord of hosts mustereth the host of the battle. They come from a far country, from the end of heaven, even the Lord and the weapons of his indignation, to destroy the whole land. Howl ye, for the day of the Lord is at hand. It shall come down, it shall come as a destruction from the Almighty.
Now, the day of the Lord is at hand. He ain't coming yet, because the great tribulation got to come first. That's why he got that sanctified one. Let's go and read and see who that sanctified one he's set to do this job. Let's skip down to verse 17. Who is this he talking about here? Go ahead.
Behold, I will stir up the Medes against them, which shall not regard silver, and as for gold, they shall not delight in it. Their bows also shall dash the young men to pieces, and they shall have no pity on the fruit of the womb. Their eyes shall not spare children. And Babylon, the glory of kingdoms, the beauty of the Chaldeans' excellency, shall be as when God overthrew Sodom and Gomorrah.
Who is this Medes that's coming down on? They over there fighting right now, ain't they? Mm-hmm. Talking about Russia. That's his sanctified one. What do sanctified mean? It don't mean he holy. That means he didn't set him apart to do a job. Mm-hmm. And his job is to come take Babylon down. Russia and all her allies gonna come and take the European Union down and all her allies.
Yeah.
This is what this talking about. He gonna stir up the Medes. Now he done chose them to do a job, like he chose Nebuchadnezzar to do a job. Now these are God's chosen people this time. He done set them apart. Yeah. And Russia enjoying in the hiding that the Lord put them in. Even the guy that's over him, he's so cocky. Hey, the guy that's over Russia right now, and they tearing Ukraine up. They ain't worried about the babies. They ain't worried about the ladies. They are tearing Ukraine up right now. I mean, it's Ukraine. Yeah.
Yeah. Just like Nebuchadnezzar rejoiced in the Lord's highness because he started exalting himself, and he sent Daniel there to give him a warning, and he didn't heed the warning, and the Lord took him down.
And they messing with this brother right now there in Russia. He ain't heeding to nobody. Said, man, Ukraine mess with me. I'm going to show him. I'm going to blow him all the way to the ground. But when he come back next time, the whole European Union, all of this, can't you see what it's setting up? America's putting pressure on him. So what Russia going to do is going to go to his ally. So, man, we got to unite together. He going to put the Soviet Union back together.
Yep.
Man, the Lord has set this thing up, you know. But he's doing it for a reason. There's going to be Gentiles fighting against Gentiles. Let's go. We finished that, right?
Yeah.
Let's go into Joel. Let's look at this a little bit. Let's go into Joel 2. Let's go into Joel 2. Because all of this is this Gentile cup. But it's also, the Gentiles cup is sitting down in the world's cup. So you got to get rid of the Gentiles. At the same time, he bring a big cup on the whole world. You know, let's go into Joel 2. Lord, and call this thing, man. All you got to do is sit down and read this book. And sit up under somebody that understands it. I ain't just got this from sitting down and reading. I had a teacher. That's why I can teach this. Let's go to Joel 2, and let's pick it up at verse 1. Joel 2, pick it up at verse 1. Go ahead.
Blow ye the trumpet in Zion, and sound an alarm in my holy mountain. Let all the inhabitants of the land tremble, for the day of the Lord cometh, for it is nigh at hand. A day of darkness and of gloominess, a day of clouds and of thick darkness, as the morning spread upon the mountains. A great people and a strong. There have not been ever the like, neither shall be any more after it. Even so, even to the years of many generations.
Because he's in the brain. Look what he says. He said, blow the trumpet in Zion, sound the alarm in my holy mountain. Let all the inhabitants of the land tremble, for the day of the Lord cometh, and it is nigh at hand. Why the day of the Lord ain't came yet? Because the great tribulation got to come first. But the Lord is the one mustering his belt. You know, go ahead with verse 3.
A fire devours before them, and behind them a flame burneth. The land is as the Garden of Eden before them, and behind them a desolate wilderness. Yeah, and nothing shall escape them. The appearance of them is as the appearance of horses, and as horsemen so shall they run. Like the noise of chariots on the tops of mountains shall they leap. Like the noise of a flame of fire that devours the stubble, as a strong people set in battle array.
That's Russia coming across there. That's Russia coming across there to take down Babylon, take down the European Union. The Lord is mustering this battle. Skip down to verse 7 and go ahead.
They shall run like mighty men. They shall climb the wall like men of war. They shall march everyone on his ways, and they shall not break their ranks. Neither shall one thrust another. They shall walk every one in his path, and when they fall upon the sword, they shall not be wounded. They shall run to and fro in the city. They shall run upon the wall. They shall climb up upon the houses. They shall enter in at the windows like a thief.
Skip down that verse 11 and go ahead.
And the Lord shall utter his voice before his army, for his camp is very great, but he is strong that executed his word.
I ain't the end of that verse. Keep reading. You didn't finish that verse.
For the day of the Lord is great and very terrible, and who can abide it?
Now, I just want to go back. We're going to go back. First, I'm going to give you what we just read, because I used to thought this was something else. That's why I need a teacher. In that verse 11, he said, the Lord shall utter his voice before his army, because the Gentile is God. Russia going to be God's army. Look what he said. For his camp is very great, for he is strong and execute his word. What was his word? Go ahead and take Babylon down.
Come on now.
And Russia was coming across there, taking everything down his way. What he said? He said, in front of them, the land looked like the Garden of Eden. Behind them, what did it look like? A desolate wilderness. Because when they come across there, they tearing up everything.
Mm-hmm.
They tearing up everything. Can I say something? No. No, you can't. Look what happened here. Look what he said in this verse 8. I want you to get this here. He said, neither shall one thrust another. They shall walk everyone in his path. And when they fall on the sword, they shall not be wounded. Now, they not supernatural people. What he's saying is, it's going to be so many of them that when you kill up 1,000 of them, it just look like you killed one man. Let's go and look at this big army. Let's go and we coming back to Joel, but let's go and look at that big army. Why because this is going to be a huge army coming across there to take down Babylon. Let's go and he ain't talking about they fall on the sword. You fall on the sword, you're going to die. But it's so many of them that when you kill 2,000 of them, you ain't even put a dent in that army. Let's go into Revelation 9. Revelation 9. Revelation 9. And let's pick it up at verse. Let's pick it up at verse 13. Revelation 9 and verse 13. Go ahead.
And the sixth angel sounded, and I heard a voice from the four horns of the golden altar, which is before God, saying to the sixth angel which had the trumpet, loose the four angels which are bound in the river Euphrates. And the four angels were loosed, which were prepared for an hour and a day and a month and a year, for to slay the third part of men. And the number of the army of the horsemen were 200,000. And I heard the number of them.
What is that, Jerome? 200,000 million. Man, I can't even hardly say it.
200 million.
200 million soldiers coming across there to take down Babylon. That's why he said, when they fall on the sword, you kill up a bunch of them, it ain't gonna even look like you done put a dent in them. That's what he's talking about. He ain't talking about they supernatural. No, it's just gonna be so many of them. And when he said they gonna cross that Euphrates River, what separated Eastern Europe? When he come across there, he come across to take Babylon down. That's what Lord has set him apart to do. His sanctified one. He's executing his word. Take Babylon down, don't spare. But the Lord is one. But Jerome, the Lord is doing something else here too. Let's see why he's bringing the Gentiles fighting against the Gentiles. Maybe he got a little plan here in this cup. Let's go into Zephaniah. Let's go into Zephaniah 3. Let's go into Zephaniah 3. I'm doing all this teaching. This brother sitting here want to listen. He want to ask questions. Listen and learn, because I'm teaching the word of God. Not my opinion here. Zephaniah 3. Why is he bringing all these Gentiles, Russia coming against the Babylon, the European Union? These are two Gentile nations fighting against each other, which is going to be World War III. Everybody going to be in it. But who are the one that's the main culprit of this war is the Gentile. Let's go into Zephaniah 3. Look what he's doing here. He bring down there fighting for a reason. Read that verse 8. One verse. He gonna tell you why he bringing them down there. Go ahead.
Therefore wait ye upon me, said the Lord, until the day that I rise up to the prey. For my determination is to gather the nations, that I may assemble the kingdoms, to pour upon them my indignation, even all my fierce anger, for all the earth shall be devoured with the fire of my jealousy.
Oh, so now we know why he bringing having this great tribulation of these Gentiles fighting against Gentiles. Look what he said. He said, therefore wait up on me, saith the Lord, until the day arise up on the prey. For my determination is to gather the nation, that I may assemble the kingdom and do what? And pour upon them my indignation. He got them all down there one place, fighting against each other. And all of a sudden, here come that guy named Jesus. That sky rolled back like a straw. Let's go back to Joel. And let's look at what I'm talking about. Let's go back to Joel. This time we're going back to Joel 3. Gentile got, this is their cup. But when they get through drinking their cup, thy kingdom come and thy will gonna be done on earth. Because the Lord gonna be and set up his kingdom. Joel 3, pick it up at verse 2 this time. Go ahead.
I will also gather all nations and will bring them down into the valley of Jehoshaphat and will plead with them there for my people and for my heritage Israel, whom they have scattered among the nations and parted my land.
Oh, so where you gonna bring them? Down into the valley of Jehoshaphat. What happened when all them nations around Jehoshaphat? What did the Lord tell Jehoshaphat? It ain't no need for you to fight in this battle. I got this. He said, all you do is go out there and sing. And what happened in the valley of Jehoshaphat? He killed everybody in that valley. So he letting you know this is gonna be the same on the same order. when he come back. Skip down to verse 9. Who is he talking to? Verse 9 gonna tell you who he's talking to. Go ahead.
Proclaim ye this among the Gentiles. Prepare war. Wake up the mighty men. Let all the men of war draw near. Let them come up.
Now who he say? Who did he say? He's proclaiming this among who? The Gentiles. Because that's who down there fighting against each other. The Gentiles. Now he said, uh-oh. Now all of a sudden, the Great Tribulation end. When the Great Tribulation end, who show up and start the war of Armageddon? The Lord. This is this time. He said, I want you Gentiles to prepare for war. So cut out your social program. Because here I come now. See, we've been reading the day of the Lord is at hand. The hand is here now. Go ahead, verse 10.
Beat your plowshares into swords and your pruning hooks into spears. Let the weak say I'm strong. Assemble yourselves and come. Let all ye heathen and gather yourselves together round about. Thither cause thy mighty ones to come down, O Lord. Let the heathen be wakened and come up to the valley of Jehoshaphat. For there will I set to judge all the heathen round about.
He said, y'all better get ready, Gentile, because I'm coming to take this earth. Y'all don't want to run the earth. We read it in Daniel, the 2nd chapter, that he gave Nebuchadnezzar them the whole earth.
Yep.
Now he coming, he said, I'm coming now. He said, in that verse 12, look what he said. He said in that verse 11, assemble yourself, come, all ye heathen, gather yourself together round about, hither cause the mighty one to come down. He said, let the heathen be wakened and come up to the valley of Jehoshaphat, for there I was set to judge all the heathen round about. Skip down to verse 14, because he got to make it. He gonna make a decision when he comes. Go ahead.
Multitudes in the valley of decision, for the day of the Lord is near in the valley of decision.
What decision he gonna make? Who gonna run this earth? That's the decision he gonna make. And I bet just off the top of y'all's head, y'all know who gonna win. Just like, skip down to verse 15. Because look at him, he's finna roll out of heaven now. Go ahead, verse 15.
The sun and the moon shall be darkened, and the stars shall withdraw their shining. The Lord also shall roar out of Zion and utter his voice from Jerusalem. And the heavens and the earth shall shake, and the Lord will be the hope of his people and the strength of the children of Israel. So shall ye know that I am the Lord your God, dwelling in Zion, my holy mountain. Then shall Jerusalem be holy, and there shall no strangers pass through her anymore.
Oh, because he said, look what happened at 15th verse. He said, sun and moon gonna be dark, and the stars shall withdraw their light. He said, and the Lord also shall roll out of Zion. This is heavenly Zion he coming out of. He said, and utter his voice from Jerusalem, and the heaven and the earth is going to be shaken. But the Lord will be the hope of who? Of his people, Israel. He said, and the strength of the children of Israel. And so shall you know that I am the Lord. You're going to know then. He said, because you're going to see where I'm dwelling at, not in heaven no more. I'm dwelling in my holy mountain. And then shall Jerusalem be holy. And ain't no strangers going to be popping up through there. Once he wrap up this cup with the Gentile, once he wrap that up, go ahead, skip down to verse 19 and go ahead. Let's look at some of these other little cups we didn't read about, but they got their little roughing up too. Go ahead.
Egypt shall be a desolation, and Edom shall be a desolate wilderness for the violence against the children of Judah, because they have shed innocent blood in their land. But Judah shall dwell forever, and Jerusalem from generation to generation. For I will cleanse their blood that I have not cleansed, for the Lord dwelleth in Zion.
So who of them people want to go to heaven? You want to go to heaven, you still in Babylon. You better get out of Babylon. You better get out of Babylon. Let's go into, I'm going to run you again before we leave this morning. Let's go into Revelation 8:18. Because I had to warn you. You better come out of Babylon in your mind. Come out of going that Sunday worship, saying that the Lord's Sabbath day is on the Sunday. Come out of Easter. Come out of Good Friday. And all this stuff that this horse church and set up to get you into the lake of fire. Revelation 18, verse 1. That's because this is the system that Babylon set up that received this kingdom from the Lord through the hand of the dragon. It is designed to get you in the lake of fire with him. And the whole world act like, because the shepherd don't teach. The whole world is just like Curtis Mayfield said. If it's a hell below, we all gonna go. Because we ain't got no shepherd that's teaching the word of God. Go ahead, Revelation 18. Pick it up at verse 1.
And after these things, I saw another angel come down from heaven, having great power, and the earth was lightened with his glory. And he cried mightily with a strong voice, saying, Babylon the Great is fallen, and it's become the habitation of devils, and the hold of every foul spirit, and a cage of every unclean and hateful bird. For all nations have drunk of the wine of the wrath of her fornication, and the kings of the earth have committed fornication with her, and the merchants of the earth are waxed rich through the abundance of her delicacies.
Especially during Christmas. It's rags rich, but look what he said. And in that second verse, he cried mightily with a strong voice, said, Babylon the Great is fallen. Behold, the habitation of devils, and hold every foul spirit, cage, and every unclean and hateful bird. Where's this at? Right here on the earth. That's what Babylon ruling over. It's right here on the earth. He said, all nations have been made drunk with this bad doctrine. All of them. We got a church on every corner in our neighborhood. Ain't got nothing but bad doctrine up in there.
Yeah.
Bad doctrine. Look, go ahead with that verse 4. What, he got something else to tell you? Go ahead.
And I heard another voice from heaven saying, Come out of her, my people, that ye be not partakers of her sins, and that ye receive not of her plagues, for her sins have reached unto heaven, and God have remembered her iniquities.
God remembered it. he remembered. He tell you, y'all better come out of there. Because what are you finna do to her? She finna drink this cup. Go ahead with that next verse.
Reward her even as she rewarded you, and double unto her double according to her works. In the cup which she hath filled to her double.
she get one. The Gentiles gonna get one of them supersized cup like Israel got. Go ahead to verse 7.
How much she have glorified herself and lived deliciously, so much torment and sorrow give her. For she said in her heart, I sit a queen, and am no widow, and shall see no sorrow. Therefore shall her plagues come in one day, death and mourning and famine, and she shall be utterly burned with fire. For strong is the Lord God who judgeth her.
Ooh. He said, you said think you a queen? I'm gonna show you who the queen is.
Okay.
Cause when the king show up, the King Jesus show up, he said, man, he saw in one day. What is this one day? That's the hour of trouble. That's the hour of temptation. And at the end of Jesus coming, he gonna take this Gentile down. Because that's the portion of this cup. And you know all the one that wishes the dragon, the one I'm begging y'all, please come out of Babylon. Mm-hmm. Let me show you what's gonna happen to you. This is the last plague. That's the last plague. Man, we've been reading some terrible cups, man. For the last 3 days, Jerome. We've been drinking, we've been looking at some horrible stuff in these cups. Yeah. Revelation 14. Let's look at the ones that won't come out of Babylon. Let's see if they're going to get a cup. Let's pick it up at verse 6. Revelation 14 and verse 6. Go ahead.
I saw another angel flying in the midst of heaven, having an everlasting gospel to preach unto them that dwell on the earth, and to every nation and kindred and tongue and people, saying with a loud voice, fear God and give glory to him, for the hour of his judgment is come, and worship him that made heaven and earth and the sea and the fountains of waters. And there followed another angel saying, Babylon is fallen, that great city, because she made all nations drink of the wine of the wrath of her fornication.
He started telling you, so y'all come out of Babylon. He said, saying a loud voice, fear God. What is fear? Why are he telling you to fear God? Because that is the beginning of wisdom and understanding. He said, give glory unto the God that created what? And worship him that created the heaven and the earth and the sea and the fountain of water. That's the one you're supposed to be seeking and following. Because he let you know Babylon and cause all nations to drink of the wrath of her fornication, because they got these little false churches set up over a whole world, and the whole world push the doctrine of the Catholic Church. Yeah, the whole world. Let's see what happens if you don't come out, though. Just in case you ain't coming out, he gonna send somebody to do something to you too. Go ahead with verse 9.
And the third angel followed them, saying with a loud voice, if any man worship the beast and his image, and receive his mark in his forehead or in his hand, the same shall drink of the wine of the wrath of God, which is poured out without mixture into the cup of his indignation, and he shall be tormented with fire and brimstone in the presence of the holy angels and in the presence of the Lamb.
That don't sound too good, do it? Mm-hmm. He said that third angel followed and said with a loud voice, he trying to get your attention. If any man worship the beast and his image and receive that mark in your right hand and in your forehead, what's going to happen to them? The same shall drink of the wine of the wrath of God, which is poured out in mixture, without mixture, yeah, in the cup of his indignation. Boy, we done seen some cups, man. And what's going to happen to them? And they shall be tormented with fire and brimstone. This is the lake of fire, brothers and sisters, in the presence of his holy angels and in the presence of the Lord. Ooh, Jerome, these are some cups, brother. But who bringing these cups? The Lord is bringing it. So you better come out of Babylon. Not only, see, this cup is letting you know, when you get to this cup, this is the time you better be getting up out of Babylon. All that false teaching. You better seek the Lord. Because if you seeking me, you can find him. Yeah. He's right here on the Coffin Bible Hour. Not me. His word is here. But you don't want to listen to me. You want to go listen to that preacher going, ha! And God walked and did this. You going to burn. Keep staying there. keep passing by the coffin Bible out because I teach nothing but the word of God. I don't get off in my opinion. Ain't gonna get off in my opinion. You know why? Because I did what this verse law said. Fear God. I fear God. So I'm only gonna teach his word. Jerome, you got anything to say about this cup, man?
Yeah. You don't want to drink of this cup that the Lord got for you if you're going to be among the wicked. Because everything that the Lord have done thus far have come to pass according to his word. So he definitely going to bring what he say going to happen afterwards to pass.
Oh, yeah.
This God can't lie.
That's why I tell people, this God ain't playing, man.
No.
This God is not playing. The world don't take him serious.
No,
everybody take this thing nonchalant. And this thing is so close to the door. Right at the door.
Mm-hmm.
And ain't nobody checking to see who's at the door. The Lord is knocking in your mind. So you better wake up and start seeking the Lord. Do what's right.
Yeah.
You know, my daughter said she was arguing with some people yesterday about eating pork and all this stuff. They say, everybody think that's a joke. The Lord gonna kill you for eating pork when he come back.
Because he can't lie. He said it.
He said he gonna do it. Oh, but we're in the new covenant. Okay, he gonna kill you. What else you got? We on the grave. He gonna kill you.
Because he don't change.
He don't change. Keep thinking it's a joke. Keep playing around with God. I ain't telling you this trying to hurt you. I'm telling you this to help you. Because guess what? He wrote in this same book, Jerome, that we was going to come over here on slave ship. How did we get to America?
Slave ships.
He wrote in this same book, said they're going to kill us and hold themselves not guilty. Yeah. Who did that happen to?
His people, Israel.
Israel. Keep playing. Keep playing. That's why I have to get them brothers off. This brother want to come in talking. Man, this word of God is serious than a heart attack. This is strictly 911. This is an emergency situation. But everybody playing. Y'all think this word is a joke? Everything the Lord tell you not to do, you better learn not to do it. Because you're going to find yourself in that Babylon cup and you're going to burn forever for a pork chop. For some beef, from some pork rib, you're going to burn forever. Because you don't believe this God. Celebrating Christmas. You in Babylon church doing that. Going to church calling Sunday the Sabbath day. You are serving Babylon. You in Babylon church. And he started telling you to come out of Babylon church. But y'all don't want to come out. Only something I can do is tell you. So be I have told you. You know who I'm trying to tell you? You know why I'm warning you? Because I'm only here for the salvation. Because I have to warn you. Because if I don't warn you, I'm gonna be in that fire with you. And I don't want to overcrowd the fire with me. You know. So, brothers and sisters, I hope you got some understanding out of these last 3 days that we done dealt with the cup of the Lord. The Lord ain't playing, brothers and sisters. Yeah. This stuff is for real. And guess what, Jerome? We reading all this out of this King James Bible.
Yeah.
We ain't going to find no history book that Malachi wrote. We reading the Bible.
Yeah.
So, brothers and sisters, hope y'all got some understanding out of this program this morning. But always on Friday, let me remind you something else you got to do. Let me get that out of there. Always like, let me throw that chart up there right quick. And if you're doing the stuff on this side of that chart, that Roman Jesus, if you're dealing with December the 25th, if your peoples are dealing with it, you better separate yourself from it. You ain't got to leave them. Just don't get off in that celebration with them. He said they're dealing with Good Friday. Jesus didn't die no Good Friday. Jesus had to be in the grave 3 days and 3 nights. He didn't deal with Easter. He don't deal with Sunday as the weekly Sabbath. The first day of the week is the Sabbath. No. and you think he gonna take you to heaven. You in the Bible, you in that cup with Babylon, and you gonna get, if you don't get out of that cup, thank God ain't got no law. People don't even know when Jesus put us under the new covenant, it didn't have nothing to do with the royal law. Absolutely nothing. You know, he just on somebody, he put you under. He changed the high priest. It had nothing to do with the royal law. So, brothers and sisters, I just want I'm trying to warn you. Why? Because I care for you. And I'm letting you know this thing is for real. But you can't get in your head because you want to do what you want to do. Keep doing it. You're going to burn forever. And I'm going to be a witness. But let me remind y'all. You know, if you want to burn, then welcome to the fire. Let me remind y'all that today at sundown is the Lord's Sabbath day. Because your day start evening in the morning. Your day going to start when the sun go down this evening, you into what they call Saturday, the 7th day of the week. This is the day that the Lord told you to hold a holy convocation. So call this 800 number, 1-800-96-BIBLE, and see, do we have a location near you? Because we got churches all over. You know, if we don't have one in your location, why don't you get out and go to work and come up with about 40 people, and we'll put one right in your neighborhood. Come up with 40 people. We'll be right there to put the Israel of God sign on your door. But if one is not near you, you still got to keep this Sabbath day. Let's go. And you want to get the Sabbath day lesson? Go to www.theisraelofgod.com, and they be on at noon tomorrow, Central Time. I think Brother Jacob will be bringing the message tomorrow here. But we're gonna be all over in areas all over teaching the word of God, because that's what we're supposed to do. But you're supposed to keep the Sabbath, brothers and sisters. You're supposed to keep this day holy. You don't supposed to get off in the cooking on the Lord's day. But people don't believe this. Jerome, what do it take to make somebody believe this thing? I ain't doing like the politician. I'm gonna pay you to believe. I want y'all to believe in the Sabbath. Come on, I'm gonna send you $100 if you keep the Sabbath. No, I'm gonna give you this word of God and tell you you're gonna burn if you don't keep the Sabbath. And guess what? That don't come to pass. So you're supposed to be keeping the Lord's Sabbath day, brothers and sisters. If it's not a church located near you, then you're supposed to get in the privacy of your home. Shut down. Don't get off in the cooking. You can have heat in your house. Bible didn't tell you not to have heat. He just don't want you cooking on. So what you do when this program is all, go get your food that you're going to eat tomorrow. Cold cut, salad, whatever. He said don't kill no fire to cook tomorrow. And that includes the microwave. So brother, I'm doing all this to warn you. You got to keep this day holy from sundown this evening to sundown tomorrow evening. You got to do that. Jerome, I was in Las Vegas after having a good time. But when the Sabbath came, I had to shut it down.
Mm-hmm.
Why? Because I fear this God. If you don't fear him, this don't mean nothing to you. But I'm going to tell you something. I got to warn you. This God ain't playing. You better keep the Sabbath. At least if you can't keep it with a group, then keep it by yourself. So brothers and sisters, I always like to warn you that on Friday to keep the Sabbath. Keep the Sabbath, brothers and sisters. And I just want to throw this in here right quick. I will be coming on live Sunday morning at 10:30, around that time, 10:30, to deal with some questions that you might have about this cruise. And we're going to give you some update information about this cruise on Sunday morning. It will come on through the Coffee and Bible Hour network. So if you subscribe to this channel, you're going to get a notification. So, and speaking of subscribing to this channel, if you haven't subscribed to the channel, why? Why not subscribe to this channel? It's a free subscription, and we need you to do that. And brothers and sisters, now we got to thank Brother Jerome. I want to thank you, man, for coming on, reading for this morning, and giving your insight and everything, man. I do appreciate it. And everybody, I appreciate it. Appreciate you. I appreciate that brother that want to ask all them questions. If he want to ask some questions, I told him to put it in the email. But you know what happened to Jerome? They never put nothing in the email. So they let me know they really ain't have no question. They want to disturb the broadcast. But they ain't gonna disturb it because I'm gonna stop and say what I have to say to them, and then I'm gonna get back to teaching the word. See, this is what I like about teaching this word, Jerome. See, I ain't in the spirit, and then that guy done broke my spirit. No, I got my stuff written down on paper. Mm-hmm. I got it written down on paper. So when I stop, I can go right back to it. Mm-hmm. So that's why I be telling people, come on, brother. No, y'all so used to going to Sunday church, and the preacher, you make me lose my spirit. Now you can't finish the lesson. Which you ain't talking about nothing. But I got everything written down. And I'm not going, this chat is one of the privilege that you have of watching this show. And I'm not going to let nobody be out there in the chat messing up the chat. You know, I'm not going to do that, you know. So that's why I have to stop and try to be nice. Y'all know I'm a nice Southern gentleman. I don't want to block nobody right away. Because sometimes they be saying stuff that's right. As long as you don't get off into your opinion. Just like I tell you guys every day, don't put your opinion out here in the chat. Put the word of God out here, you know. So brothers and sisters, I do appreciate you guys, man. I enjoyed you guys in this tough, mean cup that we've been dealing with for the last 3 days. So y'all take care. Go out and enjoy this day, man, for the sun go down. When the sun go down, then give it all to the Lord. That's the day he asks you to be holy. Me and Jerome, we're going to be up in Kalamazoo, Michigan. Up there, we're going to be up there keeping the Sabbath up in Kalamazoo, Michigan. Jerome, you know, I got to tell y'all something tomorrow on the way up there. I bet y'all ain't even thought about this. Man, what's the next month? February, right? I'm going to tell y'all something in the morning. Yeah. I'm going to tell y'all something in the morning on that ride up there. Brothers and sisters, this is a short ride. We ride up there. Me and these brothers, we have a good time talking about the Lord and talking about each other. So, we have a good time. It's me, Jerome, Brother Mark, Brother Antonio, Brother Jane, and Brother Fred, man. We roll. We get on down the road, man, doing the Lord's work. That's what like I say, even if you ain't doing going out in the ministry preaching, but honor the Lord's Sabbath day. Is that too hard? You got 6 days to do whatever you want to do. Give that 1 day to the Lord. That's all he asks. You know. But you got to serve him. You got to be right every day now. I don't think, okay, I kept the Sabbath day, now I can get off in my wickedness. You done missed the whole message.
You're in Babylon if you're thinking that.
Soon they come out of the Sabbath, they go back to Babylon.
Right.
So brothers and sisters, y'all go and take it to the limit. Just don't get off in the Senate. And remember, tomorrow is the Lord's day. The Sabbath. The devil, Babylon, is trying to change that day around and make you keep another day. Because he wants you in that fire. The devil ain't thinking about you. He's thinking about you enough to get you in the fire because he know where he gonna be. Then you'll get a chance to talk to him firsthand. Why am I in this fire with you? Because you listen to me. That's why you're
in between the gnash and the teeth.
Right, they gnashing the teeth. It's gonna be a terrible time. I think it's about time you put that lake of fire lesson back on the tape. Let people know this thing is for real. So, brothers and sisters, y'all go out and enjoy this day. The Lord wants you to enjoy life whilst you have life. Jerome, once again, I want to thank you for coming on this morning with me. And y'all go out and enjoy this day and enjoy the Lord's Sabbath day tomorrow at sundown. And I will see you guys on Monday if the Lord is willing. And y'all know what else? If the creek don't rise, we going to be here. Y'all take care now and be blessed. In the mighty name of Jesus. In Jesus' name, amen.